What is intermittent fasting and its effects? Intermittent fasting is defined as the eating cycle, where you fast for around 12 to 36 hours. This type of fasting does not indicate what to eat. Instead, it means when to eat to lose weight. The common types of intermittent fasting involve fasting for around 16 to 24 hours for about 2 days a week. There are various methods to enjoy intermittent fasting, like a 16/8 method where you skip breakfast and eat between 1 and 9 p.m., and then fast for 16 hours. Another technique is Eat, Stop, Eat, where you fast for around 24 hours twice a week and then eat the next day. The third method of intermittent fasting is a 5-2 diet, where you consume fewer calories, or around 500 and 600 calories twice a week, and that too is on alternate days. There are various benefits of intermittent fasting, such as weight loss, improved mental as well as physical health, and reduced risk of suffering from chronic medical conditions. The effects of intermittent fasting include weight loss, where your insulin levels get lowered. The body starts breaking down carbohydrates to glucose, where the cells begin utilizing energy and convert fats for later use. For the intake of glucose, insulin hormones are used. When you stop consumption of foods, your insulin level drops down, similar to intermittent fasting, where the body then starts utilizing glucose storage for energy. Regular intermittent fasting makes your body used to it, which ultimately leads to weight loss and helps you consume fewer calories throughout the day. A study concluded that intermittent fasting helps in the reduction of body weight. Intermittent fasting helps in lowering the risk of suffering from type 2 diabetes. It helps in weight loss, which ultimately prevents you from diabetes. According to a review published in 2014, intermittent fasting helps in lowering blood glucose levels along with insulin levels, especially in people who are at risk of suffering from diabetes. It was also seen that people who are at risk of suffering from diabetes, when they start performing intermittent fasting, their insulin sensitivity was markedly reduced. Intermittent fasting helps in improving cardiovascular health. According to a review published in 2016, it was seen that intermittent fasting helps in improving blood pressure levels. It regulates the heart rate, improves the pumping ability of the heart, and reduces the triglycerides and cholesterol levels. Intermittent fasting is also believed to improve mental health. According to a study conducted, it was seen that intermittent fasting helps in improving memory, learning capability, and focus of an individual. Intermittent fasting helps in reducing any inflammatory markers within the brain and aids in improving a neurological state of mind. Other studies indicate that intermittent fasting helps in improving neurological disorders like stroke, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, and others. Intermittent fasting further aids in reducing your chance of suffering from cancers. A restrictive diet and intermittent fasting delays the growth of tumors. However, further research and studies need to be conducted in this aspect. Intermittent fasting also aids in lowering biological factors like inflammatory markers and insulin levels, which tend to increase your risk of suffering from chronic medical conditions. Intermittent fasting offers various beneficial effects over the body, but before you plan on giving it a try, consult your healthcare professional and then start with intermittent fasting to enjoy ultimate benefits. Intermittent fasting can also lead to harmful effects on our body like sleep deprivation, orthorexia, which is a type of eating disorder, reduced alertness, enhanced cortisol and LDL levels within the body, along with damaging effects to the pancreas and other parts of the body. We hope that you are learning something new every day from our videos. If you'd like to know about a specific topic, inbox us, email us, or comment down below.
Intermittent fasting is a rapidly growing concept in the modern day. You would think it's something that just popped up a few years back, but no, it didn't just start recently. In fact, it has been around for an incredibly long time. For starters, this eating practice can be traced back to a lot of cultures many centuries ago, and notable among them is the ancient Greek. The ancient Greeks practiced intermittent fasting for various purposes, ranging from spiritual reasons to weight loss, improving concentration, preventing certain metabolic disorders, and even athletics. It is worthy of note that fasting is not to be confused with starvation. They are completely different things and have nothing in common but the absence of food. While starvation is the involuntary absence of food, fasting is a voluntary decision to be without food for a particular time for the greater benefit. Despite all the benefits, intermittent fasting has been considered a fad, since science could not find an explanation for how it works. But one thing they do agree on is that it is of great benefit. Hippocrates once said, "Everyone has a physician inside him or her. We just have to help it in its work." The natural healing force within each one of us is the greatest force in getting well. Our food should be our medicine. Our medicine should be our food. But to eat when you're sick is to feed your sickness. This may sound somewhat hilarious, but if we come to think of it, we practice this more often than we'd like to accept. There is a part of every human that refuses food when sickness sets in, or even extreme tiredness. A reasonable explanation for how most disease conditions around present with anorexia or loss of appetite. And when the sickness is gone, the appetite is restored naturally without having to do much. Food is good and an integral part of every human. But then, there are a lot of advantages that being without food for some time offers. In this video, we will draw a lot from how ancient Greeks practiced intermittent fasting to their benefit. The ancient Greeks believed that fasting improves cognitive abilities and alertness, which is 100% practical. You most probably will feel full, heavy, and sleepy when you've had a lot to eat, compared to when you're fasting and your stomach is empty. Fasting keeps your body light and alert, and if you've ever fasted before now, you would most likely agree that you would be able to do more when you're fasting than when you just had a meal. Eating is a lot of work, and we need to look beyond the stress of just fixing a meal or eating itself, but also internally too, because after a meal, you subject your body to a series of activities known as digestion, which requires that a lot of blood be shunted to the digestive system. In this process, you leave the brain with a shortage of blood for the time being, and the only thing the brain can use as a substitute for the lesser blood is a slowdown in physical activities. The metabolism also keeps you heavy and weak until when the stomach can empty itself. In Greek medicine, fasting is used as both a method of prevention of illnesses and treatment for illnesses. The ancient writer and historian Plutarch once said, "Instead of medicine, better fast today." The truth in that statement cannot be overemphasized because there is a lower risk for illnesses in people that fast, and it has been previously established that fasting helps to extend lifespan and reverse the entire aging process. During treatments of ailments, fasting was also used as a remedy, but the long-time sustenance of it does not have enough evidence to back it up. That is where our discretion comes in, by understanding when your body needs a break and consulting with your doctor about this process to be on the safe side. Therapeutic intermittent fasting for the treatment of obesity has been investigated since at least 1915 and has not been found to cause any harm whatsoever. Even ancient Greek athletes also fasted because it helped them feel light, fit, and ready for the sport. If you're considering starting your fast, there are about 3 types of intermittent fasting to consider. First is alternate day fasting. Alternate day fasting is one of the most common forms of intermittent fasting and considered to be the most strict method. It involves choosing to fast one day and eating the next day. The fast may be total, that is, complete without food or with food that offers less than 25% of the required daily energy. Alternate day fasting will involve more fasting days than eating days, which is why it is referred to as the most difficult one. Next is periodic fasting. In this case, you would have to fast for some time, maybe 24 hours or more. Essentially, you will choose to fast within a particular period. A popular example is the 5-2 fast, which was made popular in the UK and Australia around 2012 by Moses Mosley. In periodic fasting, like the 5-2 fast, you will have about 5 days of food, to be followed by 2 days of no food. You can also decide to be more extreme, depending on your choices. And the last is daily time-restricted fasting. This appears to be the most lenient of it all. Daily time-restricted fasting involves fasting for some hours each day, such as fasting for 16 hours to be followed by 8 hours of food. It is different from dieting because the focus is not on the amount of food eaten or the type of food eaten, but on the timing of the food. There is no stipulated time that you have to fast or eat. It could be you deciding to skip breakfast and have lunch and dinner, or you having breakfast and lunch to skip dinner. It totally depends on what works best for you. Plato said he fasted for greater physical and mental efficiency. That is to say, the benefits of fasting are vast and multidimensional. Funny how we can choose to focus on one part of it and still have a lot of benefits to think about. Turns out it also enhances physical and mental efficiency. We believe that this is the same reason why Pythagoras, a renowned mathematician, also fasted for 40 days before his exams at the famous Alexandria school. Fasting is also a major key to optimal mental functioning. Remember the food and digestion scenario. Yes, since there is no food in this case, the brain is ready to function at its best, and the focus is only on its capacities and how it can be optimized. Fasting is by every means good for mental functioning. Other benefits of fasting that we will consider include weight loss. Intermittent fasting has been used as a method of treating obesity for as far back as 1915. It is believed to work amazingly because it causes the body to draw on its internal energy and use them up, since it can always build it back again. This will result in weight loss and an overall healthy feeling. Another of its benefits is to prevent insulin resistance. This is a common problem in our world today, but fasting is a handy solution to it, and it works like magic. Philip Heraclitus, the founder of toxicology, once wrote, "Fasting is the greatest remedy, the physician within." This was also supported by Benjamin Franklin, who is renowned for wide knowledge in many areas, as he wrote, "The best of all medicines is rest and fasting." If all these great men could see from this point of view, then our guesses are also right. We could go on and on about all the benefits of fasting, and the list would be endless. But we believe that it has already been portrayed by so many scientists and scholars that the benefits of fasting are on an endless list, which we will need to explore. In exploring fasting, there are some precautions that we might like to take, just to be on the safer side. If you're fasting for the first time, make sure you talk to someone who has done it before, so you can know what to expect. From our experience, we can tell you to expect some hunger pangs, though it's not something that will be serious. Your body will get past that and you will feel like a supernatural being after that. But still, talk to someone who has done it before. In addition, make sure you check your state of health. Talk to your doctors about your plans and have them assess you to see if your body can go through it. For example, if you have a stomach ulcer, it's highly recommended to speak with your doctor about the potential side effects. As a starter, go for basics. Everything is a process. The more you fast, the more accustomed to fasting you grow. If you're fasting for the first time, you might want to consider lighter options with shorter durations. Before you know it, you will get accustomed and will be able to fast as much as you want. You should also see that you carefully plan your diet before you break your fast. Generally, it is okay to have juices and vegetables after your fast. This will help your body to adjust well to food, and your body won't have to go through so much change to accommodate food. If you carefully factor these in as you plan your fast, you shouldn't expect to have any issues. So there you have it. What do you think of the ancient Greek philosophy regarding fasting? And did you enjoy this particular type of content in comparison to our usual ones? Share with us your thoughts in the comments section below.